Good afternoon, everyone. Selamat siang. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome. I hope everyone had a good lunch and good networking with your colleagues. So today we are going to discuss about the power of retail media networks, and we were going to discuss how we can explore brands can leverage this platform to drive performance, build loyalty, and ultimately achieve business success. So I'm here with the panel of experts, Rahul Bibhuti and Justin. We'll be discussing the unique opportunities that retail media networks offer for the brands to connect with consumers at the point of purchase, understand their shopping behavior, and deliver targeted messages that resonates with the consumers. And I think this issue is brought up because the retail media networks are becoming increasingly popular for the marketers in Indonesia. And the recent study by Kantar and Grab estimate that retail media network ad spending is increasing by 219% from 2023 to 2030, with the compound average growth rate 13.4. This is like double digit and much higher compared to the average media ad spend growth. Also, this figure is actually 1.9 times higher than the global growth projections. So it's very increasingly importance of retail media networks as the leading advertising platform for brands and marketers in Indonesia. So I'm gonna go with the first question for all the panelists. What do you think is the biggest factor driving the retail media network growth and spending in Indonesia? I'm going to go with Bibhuti first, and then probably Rahul.
Okay, selamat siang semua ya. So I think the biggest factor is actually win-win-win. Yeah, apa itu win-win-win? What is the win, right? It's a win for the retailer. It's the win for the brand or the advisor and the advertiser, and the win also for the consumer. So the first win on retailer, right? We know that profit is always a priority. Aside from being an additional revenue stream for the retailer, the gross margin on advertising, like retail media, is higher actually. So it's actually a lot more profitable for the retailers, to focus on this. Hence, there's this huge motivation, right, to continue to grow this retail media network. So from an advertiser perspective, from a brand perspective, we used to have ability, right, working through social media networks, platforms, to be able to know consumer preferences. We're able to track, what they like, where have they been to, which site they were at. But with policy and privacy changes, right, we are no longer able to track third-party cookies, right? That makes targeting a bit harder for all of us. We are in Indonesia, there's 280 million population, and we want to ensure that our ads goes to the right target audience, right? So hence, without the third-party cookie, it is definitely more challenging. And this is why I said the win for the brand is because the retailer has consented first-party cookie, right? So we can work with retailer to really understand the consumer behavior within the platform. We are able to target better and make our campaign more effective and efficient, right? On top of that, we are, aside from recruiting, we are also able to retain, loyalize within the same platform as well, right? And then the final one is actually, the third win is actually for the consumer. Because when the consumer buys from the platform through our ads, right, the data goes back to the retailer. And it's a closed loop, right? And hence, the retailer are able to optimize the ads better, hence able to further show more relevant ad to the consumer. So for the consumer, they're already with the right shopping mindset, and when we show them the relevant ads, right, it makes a lot of sense, and they make the customer experience, shopping experience, a lot better. So I think these three winning factors, win-win-win, is a major factor in driving retail media network.
Okay,
yeah. So, good afternoon, everyone. It's an absolute pleasure to be back here. Fabulous event, right? And we are this panelists who are after lunch. So, guys, please don't feel sleepy. Hopefully, our whole endeavor would be to really excite you guys with some thoughts which are thought-provoking. See, Like today we heard a battery of marketers who spoke about the long-term and short-term of brand building. Being a purist marketer, I always believe that you have to start building brand by just thinking about 10 years, 20 years, 30 years down the line. Retail media is a part of the overall ecosystem as a part of that whole marketing world that we are just building. In marketing, at the end of the day, when we do marketing, it's about building salience, building preference for your brand, and finally just translating that into the long-term brand love, so that people adore your brand and they just use your brand, which is equivalent to what some people would say it's about just funnel marketing, which is about consideration, trial, as well as loyalty. In marketing, there are three things that works, and that's my 3M philosophy, which I speak about, which is about how do you marry your message with the messenger, so that you are in the right medium. So to be a great campaign, you have to marry your message with the messenger in that right medium. Today, because of the lot of pressure on short term that happens, it is the overall importance of retail medium is increasing, and it's not bad, because what we have been able to see is that we are able to drive both performance as well as build brand on these retail network. And therefore, what retail media does is that it gives us this unique opportunity of marrying long-term with short-term, marrying brand building with performance marketing, and that is why we are seeing the explosion or growth of retail media in our place.
Thank you, Pak Justin, go ahead.
Selamat siang, everybody. Nice to be back in Jakarta to build and give a slightly tangential take on what Caroline and Rahul have spoken about. If we think about the consumer characteristics and behaviors here in Indonesia, I think what we're really, really blessed with is a young, digital savvy, increasingly very online consumer base, of which, if you look at some reports from Lightspeed Ventures and so on, 64% of Indonesia's large population is also monetizable. And also, as I travel around the region and you look at Southeast Asian reports by my old companies at Bain and Meta and at Google as well, what you'll find is that the Indonesian population is the most online compared to any other market here in Southeast Asia. And that also translates to our platform and Grab as well, where we're actually finding that, interestingly, people are spending 27 minutes on average just discovering and searching for different stores, different restaurants, products, and so on and so forth. Interestingly, 74% of users actually come to Grab not even knowing what store and what restaurant that they're looking for. And then for those partners that have advertised with us, what they're finding is that 69% of those people that are being reached and are engaging with those ads are actually first-time users for that brand or that product as well, which is really, really important for long-term brand building as well, acquiring those new audiences, those new customers, and bringing them into your brand. So I think for all of those reasons, I think the whole retail media space is really accelerating.
All right, thank you, Pak Justin. So I think next question is for Pak Rahul. You mentioned about marrying the long-term and the short-term. How do you actually balance the brand building and performance marketing within your retail media strategies?
Yeah, so what we do is that we have our own traditional, media, which is say TV. So we invest on awareness. There's a in our organization and for us, there's a very clear understanding that if you want to build your brand for long term, you have to invest on awareness. However, we have also recognized that things like Shopee, things like Grab, for example, and we have got this long term like partnership with, like Grab. There are like, mediums. For example, Shopee, like Lazada, or all these like e-com, like platforms, where you can build brand by going and laying out your entire like message. Yes, you have to adapt your like a message to that medium, but what we like see is, given our organization where the e-com sales like contribution is quite significant, we are able to both drive like performance marketing as well as build brand by just looking at like different cues which our consumer lives at that point and just build brand. So we have been able to build both the long term as well as short term. At least we have tried, and I would say we have been reasonably like successful. We drive a significant amount of our sales from the e-com platform, where we, while build brand, we are also very like clear about the fact that it should drive like short-term sales as well.
Yeah.
Not easy, but then you have to like reach at that balance or that like magic formula which helps you, grow.
Thank you. But that's very interesting to, I think, experience for that. For Bu Caroline, I think the questions for you is the beauty and wellness sector where Shiseido thrives places a great value on brand equity. And how do you think is highly valued brands such as Shiseido can take advantage from digital platforms such as retail media networks to continuously build brand, drive loyalty, and also engage with their new customers?
So Pak Rahul spoke about brand building, and actually a lot of people do think when we look at retail media, they do equate it, that's bottom funnel, that's conversion driven, right? That's not brand building, may not be as much brand building because it's sales conversion. But actually I do see that it, just like what Pak Rahul say, right? It's also brand building. It is indeed more than just bottom funnel. So if you go to platforms today, on average, estimated, right, about 70-80% of what consumers search are actually non-branded. These consumers, the shoppers, are there with a mindset of they're about to shop for something, right? And they're searching. It's not yet branded, right? And this is where we as a brand is able to create awareness of our brand by being there, showcasing our brand to these people. So of course, branded keywords are very important. They have very good ROAS, and we continue to keep that. But also bear in mind, on retail media network, there's this opportunity for us to tap into unbranded search to recruit new customer, introduce our brands to the customer as well. We also need to look into the lots of tools that's made available by the partners at the platform, driving trial, trial center, for example, working through their CRM, CEM as well, right? Chat blast to reach out to new customers. And all these are helping us to create awareness of our brands to people who is into the category but may not know our brand yet. And after we recruit, right, we are also able to use, the tool that's available in this retail media platform, usually the e-com platform, right, to retarget these customers, re-engage them again, right? So you are able to do all this within the same platform in a closed loop, right? Making each interaction more efficient. So we also see that when we drive that interaction localization, for example, we have membership in some of the platforms that we participate in. The revenue that we get from members versus non-members is actually more than 2 times higher. So for us, ability to recruit and also retain and engage them is actually brand building.
All right. Thanks so much, Bu. And for Pa Justin, the question is for the Grab. Since you have a super app leading in Southeast Asia, how can brands effectively leverage Grab to drive growth, considering Grab's unique position as super app and it has the vast user base in Indonesia?
Yeah, so I've recently joined Grab, and what really excites me being a part of Grab is that it is got so many different businesses operating together in a very interrelated way. But from a brand building and consumer perspective, I think there are 2 main things to talk about. One is that it does enable end-to-end for the consumer journey, all the way from discovering, all the way through to searching and evaluating and researching, through to purchase, and actually arguably beyond purchase, into loyalty, which are some innovative solutions that are coming soon, and obviously into delivery and fulfillment as well through our driver and rider partner network as well. Secondly, what's really interesting is naturally what we know about the users that use our services every single day. We know what they buy, we know where they go, we know how they buy, and they provide really interesting signals. So for example, here in Indonesia, what we do know based on user behavior is that orders spike 1.9 times for group orders, and what's more, group orders that happen around lunchtime, naturally, and around workspaces. So you can imagine that granular level of insights, and as a marketer, what that might imply for you. It can help inform your messaging and compelling creative during that time to effectively serve those audiences. But it might also inform your product strategy, your promotion strategy, or bundling strategy, to facilitate that group buying and capitalize on that opportunity and that insight. So with that in mind, I think I can share some slides at this point. Yeah, so I'm going to try and press the clicker button of a couple of examples that really do take advantage of that entire journey across the ecosystem. First and foremost, this is Rahul's own brand, Durex, where we and Durex partnered together to identify high-value audiences to promote Durex and raise awareness of Durex during Valentine's Day. And so that was leveraging the Grab Ads platform, but in addition to that, they also leveraged promos in order to incentivize immediate purchase on GrabMart, and they also took advantage of our delivery network in order to allow for instant delivery to those Durex purchases as well. So that's one example of using many different legs of our ecosystem in order to drive brand all the way through to transactions. Another one, and a second one that I really like as well, is, I'm going to start with a video, but this is for P&G, Head & Shoulders here in Indonesia.
Aduh, goyah nih kepalaku, gatel, aduh kesel, aku jaksel. Aduh, panasnya matahari bikin aku ngehe, terus ngegaruk helm, ada gatel, tapi kok nggak berasa.
Aduh, kehidupan pakai gatal segala. Mana lagi bokeh lagi. Tak mungkin. Aduh.
Kasihan ya mereka. Pasti nggak benar pakai samponya.
Kok ngebok, goyah, ngehe, oke, ketombe tuh. Iya, permisi pemirsa, masih pada zamannya ketombean. Yeay, tombe.
Sepertinya saatnya kasih solusi yang benar. Move on ke Head & Shoulders. Ini nih.
Hah? Head & Shoulder? Pantas disodorin.
Ini Head & Shoulder, habis party nih. Hah? Head & Software, install dulu dong.
Kalau goyah, ngehe dan bokeh, paling benar pakai Head & Shoulders. Masalah ketombe basah, gatal dan bau matahari pasti langsung benar. Makanya, move on ke Head & Shoulders. Saya selalu pakai.
Aku juga pakai.
Pakai Head & Shoulders, biar kalem pakai helm, kalem pakai helm, kalem pakai helm.
Okay, so as you can see, Head & Shoulders were leveraging and partnering with us, and we were partnering with them in order to build their brand for Head & Shoulders. They basically imagined, what if we could use our rider partners here in Indonesia as brand ambassadors, right? And so going beyond just Grab Ads, but including Grab Ads, what that consisted of were branding the rider helmets with Head & Shoulders, distributing samples of Head & Shoulders to parts of our rider network here in Indonesia and different parts of Indonesia. It also, therefore, invited their experiences and their testimonials for the product, which became awesome PRable content as well. In addition to that, that was also supported by advertising, and as you can see here, This is how the Grab riders became PRable and heroes and brand ambassadors for Head and Shoulders. And also we actually micro-targeted and hyper-targeted Grab advertising around where P&G and Head and Shoulders were making out-of-home investments in Indonesia as well, to drive that incremental reach and also to make that out-of-home work a little bit harder through to the point of conversion and the point of transaction on the Grab platform. And then also, finally, there were promotions that were being run that encouraged people to buy instantly on GrabMart as well. So you can see how Head and Shoulders went all the way from just plain advertising to really take advantage of our ecosystem all the way through to our valuable network of rider partners here in Indonesia.
All right, thank you. That's a very good thing. Case studies. I have one final closing questions for all the panelists. Based on what, given growing of the retail media networks and given our, I think, market situations, what attribute for Indonesian marketers should focus on to build their brand moving forward 2025 and onwards? So based on your point of view, Rahul, what is key focus?
So, given this fact that it's a more like physical world where like people are interacting both with digital as well as like normal world, given the fact that Indonesia is a hugely young like population, people here are on digital. It's very like important that we should not forget the long term of the brand. Yeah. Which is at the end of the day, if this brand has to like exist, long term will like take care of the overall short term. We should not try to go very fast in short term so that we start like destroying long term. My like personal philosophy is we should go slow to like go fast so that we can just build this long term brand.
Yeah. Okay. Bu Caroline, do you have?
I'll add on another point. So apart from brand building the brand long term, very important. I think that we are still at a very early stage in maximizing the potential retail media network. There's a lot of data-driven insights that we can get from there, and we need to innovate the way we understand shopper behavior in the platform, through searches or how they journey through the platform. And I understand, I think a lot of you here are marketeers and probably working on commerce, e-com. Not all platforms are able to give us the insights. It's easier said than done, but they don't have it. What can I do about it? So this is where we need to innovate and partner. There are many third-party tech tool agency that's available who is able to help us. So for example, I'll give an example. Search, on-site search is one of the highest ROAS when it comes to advertising on retail media. The challenge that many marketeers today face is that I can't burn the budget. Even if I allocate more money in that on-site search, it just couldn't finish the budget. So what do? But when we don't have insights of it, we don't know what we can do, right? But there are tech tools today that can help us understand, for example, the search share in the platform. What's your search share, or is there any search words that is missing from what you're buying today? So by having this tool, it helps us to understand where the opportunities are, and it helps our marketeer to be sharper and ability to change the strategy in a very efficient and fast manner so that we can still influence the campaign, yeah? So do work with the partner. I think my key message is work with the partner, either the platform, even third-party tech tools, to try to make it more efficient for you to be able to manage, leverage on the data-driven insight.
Thank you. Pak Jasin, one last quick
Yeah, sure.
statement.
Very, very quickly. I know we're short of time. If I leave you with one thing, just remember this catchy line that I read recently. Be first to mind, easy to find. First to mind, advertising during buying situations when people are ready to buy, easy to find, making sure that your product and your brand is easily discoverable, easily available on the platform that people are spending their most time searching and buying and ready to consume. So first to mind, easy to find.
Thank you so much. So I think it's clear that brands need to embrace the holistic approach for retail media network strategies and integrate with the overall brand strategies and leveraging the unique of the capabilities of the platform. I think that's it from us. Thank you for the panelists and the audience for your attentions. And I hope you find this session informative and insightful for all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you to moderator and all the panelists. I kindly request our thought leaders and moderator to remain on stage for an official photograph. In the count of 3, 1, 2, and 3. May come forward in the count of 3, 1, 2, and 3. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.